Hey guys, and welcome to the second episode of Ask Headshot. The feedback on the first episode seemed pretty decent, so I think this is one of these series that is definitely going to be sticking around. Now today's question comes from Mick B, who asks, which relics do you use for farming Forma? Now this is a really good question, and the relic that I use most often is the Meso D1 relic, purely because it has 2 different chances in there to be able to get Forma out of it. 2 out of 6 chances that it's going to be Forma, effectively. However, I also run Meso C1, Meso B1 and Neo N1. All of these have Forma as their most common item. But why these are not the other keys that also have Forma on them? Well, if you remember my original leveling and Forma guide, I had a loop running where I would do the void keys. I'd get the void keys effectively from running Oceanium on Pluto. Well, Oceanium can drop any Meso or Neo relic, so fairly often you will get those that have Forma on them as a reward from the mission. So you can then farm the relics for Forma while you're leveling your gear. So pretty much like I used to do. It's way less effective than it was before because there is actually 12 different relics that can now drop from Oceanium, and only 4 of them have a good chance for Forma. And one of those is actually going to become a vaulted relic, so when the new one comes in it'll probably replace it, and it's fairly unlikely that it's going to have Forma on it. The thing is though, all of the Meso ones do have Forma in the drop tables, but you know, most of them are uncommon drops, but it's, I guess, better than nothing. But once again, it's kind of a Forma and leveling loop, much like I had in the original Void system. Level using Oceanium, get relics as a reward, run those relics to get more Forma to be able to level in Oceanium again. It's a decent little loop and something that is effectively my standard leveling spot for weapons right now. In terms of, running the relics, I would make sure that you are on public at all times now. I used to farm Forma solo because it meant I could chill, I could take things at my own pace, not worry about stupid things like Ash Blade storming everything in sight, generally just do what I wanted in the mission. Now however, you're best off making sure to pug the keys, because while you don't get an extra roll on your own key or anything, there is always the chance that your teammates have a key on them that drops Forma. So even if your key doesn't get lucky, maybe you'll get lucky on someone else's key. You don't even need to worry about taking a super survivable frame or anything for the most part, because it's effectively T2 and T3 keys. Take whatever you want, even whatever weapon you want, because more often than not, it's going to be low enough level that you can just derp around with whatever you find fun. Honestly, Forma farming after Void 2.0 hasn't really changed as much as people think it has. It's still either a Forma or a Prime Part, Forma or Ducats, Forma or Plat. Literally nothing has changed there at all, because that's how it used to be in the Void 1.0. You got a Forma instead of a Prime Part. What has changed is those people that have a ton of Forma blueprints saved up, they're not forced to take Forma anymore. They can choose to take something else, whereas those of us that need Forma can choose to take it when we get the choice. But if you combine this Forma farm into your leveling as well, you can really make some more efficient use of your time spent in game. Now I hope this answers your question, Mick B. Thank you very much for that question. I'd be interested to hear how you guys do your Forma farming now, and also more questions for the next episode of Ask Headshot in the comments below. As always guys, many thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next episode.